Hi, this is Michael Patella, co-founder of Corporate Menace Coffee Co., Coffee for Closers. Enjoy another episode of Gene Valentino's Grassroots Truthcast.
Relationships matter because people buy people, and that's why I buy Eddie Zarin Insurance of the Zarin Insurance Agency in Pensacola, Florida. A family-owned business with over 50 years in the business, and they treat people the right way. From homeowners insurance to contractors insurance, condo insurance, commercial insurance, all the different coverages that are out there, and of course auto insurance, they've got you covered. They worry about you first. You're more than a policy number. You're a person who they're watching out for, not when the sun is shining, but after the hurricane has left. If you want real service with real savings, contact Eddie Zarin at the Eddie Zarin Insurance Agency. www.zarininsurance.com. Give them a call today. You'll be glad you did when you do.
Welcome to Daybreak with Ted Tibbett and Michael Paul. If you'd like to call us, our new studio line is 268-1017. Our email is newstalk107.1@gmail.com.
You know, somebody was telling me the other day that after Michael Paul was gone, we still hadn't changed those IDs yet. And they said, well, that's okay, but is the Velvet Hammer still going to be on? I said, don't worry, the Velvet Hammer is here.
We do have our priorities.
Bye-bye, Michael. Hello, Velvet. Gene Valentino, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
How you doing today?
Oh, boy. I heard you talking about 103 degrees or something
That's
like
awful,
that through
isn't it?
Monday. Wow.
Yeah, I want a refund.
Yeah. Patience and careful movement during the weekend.
But you know what? And you can appreciate this, Gene. You live down in Florida, in the panhandle of Florida, up that way. But somebody says, have you ever seen it this hot before? And I said, yeah, last year and the year before and when I was a kid.
Yesterday.
You know, you live in the South. In the month of August, isn't a snow flurry. It's hot. But as you get older, you can't handle that hot either.
I remember a few months ago in the winter saying, I can't wait for some real good warm weather. I can't wait. I just can't wait. And boy, now that it's here, I'm saying I can't wait for some cool, cold weather.
You know, I just thought of a business you could open up. Get your slap here. And people could come by and pay a couple of bucks to get slapped for saying stuff like that.
Kind of like those rage rooms they have. You know, they got these rage rooms where you tear stuff up and pitch a fit.
Yeah.
Sort of like that.
Break big old TVs. Well, Gene, good morning. It's been a week since last week and a lot of things happening. And, you know, I'm in the media, supposedly, and I should know what things more than I do. But I was thinking, and I talked to Zach a little bit about this, and I mentioned it to you in a text and all. I've been around, you know, I grew up in the South, and we had, I guess it was more of a Southern Democratic Party, Dixiecrats or Mississippi Democratic Party. But our state officials, you know, the great John Stennis and Jim Eastland and Bill Calmer were all Democrats. Trent Lott broke that. He was the chief of staff for Bill Calmer when he was in Congress, and he came out and ran for his seat when Calmer retired as a Republican and was in the process of getting beat because Mississippian was not going to vote for Republican. And then Bill Calmer came out with a full advertising campaign. Forget the party, I support Trent Lott. And that's what started here. But looking at it now, the Democrats, Gene, and this is the question to you, what has happened to the party? I don't recognize anything. When I see some of the people being elected or nominating, it scares me. What's going on?
Yeah, good analysis, Ted. I'll take a John Stennis Democrat any day of the week compared to the insanity of what we're faced with today. You know, it was only a few years ago with you and Judge and Charles, we were chatting here and we were talking about the complete meltdown of the Democrat Party. Well, I wasn't too far off. You've got the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, can you believe? They call them socialists. It's a masquerade for communism. It's true communism in disguise, and it's a status that has been allowed because of ambivalence. My only concern is that the younger generation, the Gen Z crowd, not be misguided and think this is the solution. Regrettably, the teachers and the parents of those children allowed for the lack of education in the system to cause them to remain ignorant. I wouldn't say the Gen Z crowd is stupid. I'd say the politicians who cause the problem are, but I'd say these Gen Z students are ignorant, not stupid, because of the fact that they're not aware of the John Stennises of the world, the old conservative Dixiecrats, and it was my father that reminded me that before he passed, why he changed from a lifelong Democrat to a Republican during the Reagan administration. And that's because opportunity was being denied by the Democrats. The Democrat Party developed what's known as an overstated sense of self-worth. They thought they could control government. You report to me, Ted, and just listen to what I have to say. Follow what I tell you to do, and you'll be fine. That's the Democrat Socialist Party that's being jammed down the throats of these Gen Zers who don't know any better. I feel sad. I feel sorry, and for the incident. But it was the Vice President Vance, that said, "You can't blame it on Gen Z. Well, you gotta look at the people who fed them this nonsense." And we've got to take a hard look at transforming this nation back to what we know it could be. Yeah, they've gotten a little bit of headway in some of these elections and created some influence, but recent millions of dollars were just forked over by the steadfast stronghold Democrats to try to stave off the threat of the DSA, Democratic Socialists of America. We're going to see a major transformation, and guess what? It's almost so simple but so obvious. Donald Trump creates this Trump accounts system, which allow these kids, I'll call them kids, the younger generation, to manage their investments in future companies. So instead of littering in the McDonald's parking lot or any of the other companies that the investment portfolio is invested in, with these kids looking now at what money do I have and where is it invested, they're going to say, hey, this parking lot here is, I own a piece of this company. I better tell that guy to pick up the wrapper he just threw on the ground. It's causing the Gen Z crowd to become more responsible over the future of their assets here in the United States of America. That's the take back. It's a generation out. It won't be appreciated until Donald Trump is on a monument somewhere in the Grand Canyon near Mount Rushmore, maybe. But the bottom line is, whether that happens or not, that's unfortunately how long it's going to take, because this conspiracy to take down America didn't happen overnight. This has been planned by socialists and communists because they've got the time to do so over decades, over centuries. The Chinese Communist Party has been working on this for a long time. Iran and the Islamic Jihad can't wait to kill another American. Trump's working on that front now. And locally, we got them in our backyard, in your neighborhood and mine. and they're perpetrating frauds to now undermine the liberties and freedoms within our local constitutional governments. That's where we have to be concerned, Ted. Your neighborhood, mine, the school board meetings, the town council meetings, the selectmen or supervisor or county commission meetings. This is where America needs to put its weight and force to protect the Democrats, socialists of this country from trying to take over.
You know what kind of scares me, too, is the young people. And Zach's younger than I am, and you and I are close to the same age. I'm a little older. But I can remember we have a 9/11 ceremony in Hattiesburg every year, and I'm part of that committee and organization that puts it together. And we're coming up on the 25th anniversary of 9/11. And I actually, in meetings, and there's some young people anywhere from 35 on down that don't know what I'm talking about. And then the general public, how soon we forget. I can remember where we meet in front of the big fire hall. We have a major program here in our town. But on the first anniversary of 9/11, we had to have police directing traffic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were hundreds of people there. And last year at the same program we had, and a beautiful program it was too, I don't think we had 100 people.
They had their priorities mixed up these days, and it's just have some respect for where you came from and what's important. Just have some respect for things, but they'll respect the cell phone more. You know, I mean, people's cell phones going off during pledges of allegiance, prayers, stuff like that, and it's just common sense is gone. That's the problem. You want to get down to it? Common sense is gone.
I totally agree, and I think it ties directly to the way we respect each other, respect ourselves, respect each other, and respect this nation. Gentlemen, you're talking, and I'm looking at the screen on the TV. Democrats announced a plan against Mark Wayne Mueller, Homeland Security, to limit the immigration issue to stop the conservatives from curtailing illegal immigration. The biggest story coming up this fall in the election will be their focus on curtailing illegal immigration, meaning let illegal immigration continue. Are you kidding me?
No, they're not kidding you. That's the problem. They are not kidding you. and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Hey, Gene, I'll tell you when I told Zach, I don't think I'd tell you with this. Michael was on last week. But my daughter and son-in-law and their kids, they've been up in Seattle, Washington area doing a little mountain climbing, you know, kind of a summer vacation for them. They really enjoyed. But she told me, she says, Daddy, we went in coffee shops around Seattle, and there are baskets full of whistles, and they give them out to customers to blow and warn people if there's an ICE agent around.
Yeah.
In Seattle, Washington.
But here's the thing, though. You put those same whistles and put down for child molesters. If you see a child molester around, they'll want to banish that. You know, so for the, you know, so it's okay to warn people on this, but not okay to warn somebody that's a predator to children or something. You know,
it's crazy
and
out there.
It's crazy. It's backwards. So.
Well, these Democrat socialists that we've talked about, we're going to need whistles, all right.
Yeah,
they're proposing $211 trillion of additional expenditure. Trillion. I mean, it's almost incomprehensible how big that number is. Increases in universal health care for everybody. Yeah, who cares how we pay for it? Just make sure everyone gets health care.
Let me tell you this.
Reparations, huh?
Without a PhD in it, my Uncle Joe, I want to talk about him all the time. He told me a long time ago, they no free lunch.
No. The free lunch is the most expensive one you get. It is.
Gene, we got about a minute here. Wrap us up.
Well, keep an eye on government spending that caps the DSA this fall. It's not only illegal immigrations the Democrats are going to try to revisit. Their sole intent is to allow the Democrat Party to continue the melt away. The Nancy Pelosi, the Chuck Schumer, the Hakeem Jeffries, the older guard of the Democrat Party is hopefully going to give way, according to these crazies to the new era of the DSA, the Democratic Socialists Initiative, communists masked as socialists in our system. And they're talking about the current 40% spending by the United States government, 40% of our GDP, going as high as 57 to 92%. You will be a ward of the federal government. You will not own property anymore. Your taxes will be more like 70 to 90% of your gross income. Can you imagine that? That is what communists are going through right now, and they can't get on a boat to get into America fast enough. That's why we got to watch
Gene,
out for
we
our
appreciate it.
immigration.
Time up, buddy. Look forward to next week. You have a great one.
Best
Take care.
year, brother.
Some people watch opportunities pass by. Others create them. This is for the entrepreneurs, the deal makers, the risk takers, and the relentless few who refuse to settle for average. Corporate Menace Coffee Co. is built for early mornings, late nights, and the moments that define careers. Specialty coffee, roasted to order for you, the person with goals too big for excuses. Work harder, think bigger. Corporate Menace Coffee Co. What are you waiting for? Fuel up now. www.corporatemenace.com.